Hi, I'm Clare Edwards. I'm a Senior Land Services Officer with the Central Tablelands Local Land Services, and my role in that organisation is around the pastures and the soil part of the landscape, and also in terms of pastures and livestock in terms of grazing. So one of the things that we're talking about today is the landscape around the fire and the fire ground, and we're looking at across the landscape at different effects of that fire on the landscape. So we're seeing parts of the landscape which have been fairly denuded, and the fire intensity was very, very hot in that area, and we're seeing different survival of those pasture species. In other parts of the landscape, on areas which might have been a little bit more cooler and the cooler burn, we're actually seeing survival of some of those plants as well. And given that some of the areas actually received a little bit of rain, we're actually seeing a little bit of regrowth coming through, which is really quite heartening because we can actually then see that the pastures are actually survived. And it gives us a bit of hope that not everything is actually black and that's it. So how well have those pastures survived is a big question, and what's coming up, and then how do we manage those areas for the next 12 months I think is going to be very, very important. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a look at some of the species that we're likely to see and how well they've survived, and just talk a bit about some of the perenniality in the annual species and how well they've survived in terms of their actual butts or the bottom of the plants, and have they actually survived, and how we can tell if they've survived, but also some of the species that we're likely to see that will germinate. Some of these species are very useful, but some of these species may actually be weed species. So what do we do about that as well? So we'll go through with a couple of species and see how well they've survived, and talk about some of the problems that we might see with those species.